Oh no, you know what? I completely forgot. Happy 2023, everyone. Welcome back to GPX Japan. Today I got with me the one, the only, the undisputed champion of Street Fighter 6, Tony. Me and him are gonna be talking about
You said
uh
Asan wrong, but okay.
we're gonna be sorry, I meant to say Rising Sun Retro, Street Fighter champ, the undisputed champ. Uh, and we're gonna be talking about Street Fighter 6 beta. I know there's been a lot of videos online about the beta. There was a second beta test held, if I'm not mistaken, second week of December until the mid. No, sorry, from the 14th of December to the 19th, that weekend of. And yeah, we had a chance to play the second beta. I had a chance to play the first beta. Is there any change from the both of them? Aside from response time and net code getting a little better, I'd say they're identical. The roster was identical, the move sets, everything felt almost the same. There's some minor changes, but we won't get into it because it's too technical at that point. Um, let's start off. Tony, this is the first time for you to try Street Fighter 6. Two questions. What was the last fighting game you played? And second question is, how did you feel about Street Fighter 6 starting this up?
So the last fighting game I played that wasn't Smash Bros, depending on whoever's definition of what that is. I know you're just dying to say something about that. So that with, you know, besides Smash, Dragon Ball Fighters actually. No, it was no, it was not. It was Tekken together. When we played Tekken together. Technically
Oh,
that was
damn.
the last
The
time
arcade
I touched a
experience.
fighting game, yeah, and I guess at that time we played Tekken. I didn't really play so much Street Fighter. I played a little bit of Third Strike at that same arcade.
Yep, yep, yep.
Me and Mr. Waterwash played Persona, Ultimax,
Right,
and
right,
the
right, right.
original Arena together. So yeah, but the last, I guess, technical fighting game was Tekken. We were playing Tekken 7 together.
Was there a fighting game in the Street Fighter pantheon that you played last or remember playing last?
Probably Third Strike. Yeah, I played
Third
Third
Strike.
Strike a few
Yeah.
times on those cabinets, but to like actually try to like play a little bit, it was actually Street Fighter 2 hype. No, all you know what I'm talking about? The one on Switch that came out
Uh,
like that Ultimate Street Fighter 2
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
2017. That was the
yeah.
one I last one I bought and actually played.
Shit, you're not talking about the 30th anniversary, right?
I can't remember. It's because there was another anniversary release, but this one was when the Switch first came out.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
It had
redrawn
this like
graphics.
first person Hadouken
Yeah,
mode.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah. So,
No way.
mhm,
Yeah, 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 okay. I think that was like the HD Street Fighter 2
mhm.
where they redrew the backgrounds and everything.
Yeah, I believe so. I can't remember if there was like another one before that, but this one was, yeah, this was what, 6 years ago. So,
God damn. So how does it feel to get into Street Fighter 6? What are your thoughts?
so it was a lot better than I thought it would be. I guess I had a lot of biases, and people say like, "Oh, Tekken feels like the heavier game," and like I played Tekken, so I mean, I'm not a master by any means, but it does feel like a heavier game, harder hits and stuff like that. But playing Street Fighter 6, I was really into the movement. I was into the weight of the characters. Everything felt smooth, and it didn't feel frustrating.
Right, right, right.
It was no, it was really really fun. I mean, of course, I got whooped
I think we all
uncountable
did.
amount of times. But that's the fun of it, right? You get
Yeah.
beat, you kind of figure it out. It does seem insurmountable when you keep losing, but then
Yeah.
once we practiced a whole bunch, right? And then once I started practicing those jury combos, played them in the real matches, and I thought, wow, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to read the movements a little bit better. I'm starting to understand how people play a little bit better. So, no, I enjoyed it. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
That's amazing. That's exactly the same sentiments I would echo. Like that's how I felt with the first beta test. The last game I played was Street Fighter Third Strike. I played a bit of Street Fighter 4, but I'm not a fan of 4. I have five just because I have it. But I'll be honest, it's not a good looking game. It looks worse artistically than four for me. So it kind of like I wasn't taking Street Fighter that seriously. And what got me was like the visual upgrade. Like this feels like a proper like next iteration. Whereas four and five feel like there were budget cuts here and there visually. And like the RE engine is in full display here. The character models are gorgeous. Um, you said something about Tekken, and I felt like this Street Fighter feels the heaviest. Like the characters really feel like they have weight. Even somebody as nimble as Jury or Kimberly, they feel like they still like when you swing and you hit somebody, those hits really hit hard. And there's no, I don't know how to describe it, but the characters don't seem floaty anymore. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would think so. From what I've seen from the other games, again, I don't have a lot of experience, but no, they definitely, it feels like even the later characters, like you mentioned, pack a punch.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that feels good when you're playing these fighting games, right? So that was something I really liked. And going back to your comment about aesthetics, yeah, I saw the Street Fighter 5 like Ken, which we talked about,
Yeah.
and I just thought, what is going on here? But then, like, I don't know, it seems weird, but it's like this game, it's like they just nailed every single design for every single character. I saw Luke from 5.
Yeah, Luke looks weird, man.
It's like they just tried to go completely like what is it, balls to the wall for that game. And then this one, it's like, okay, no, we're gonna take these designs, improve them in every way possible, but keep it grounded. You know, putting the beard on Guile and stuff. Ken looks like Ken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He doesn't have these like what do you have like dreads or something like that before? And
Dude, it was disgusting.
I mean, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
The red pants, the like, you know, he's got the shoes on. He's got like the jacket. He's like a wanderer. It just the image is perfect.
I feel like I hate doing the comparison, but people are gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
Um, Tekken's new roster leaks and all the designs that they've shown so far haven't been wowing me as much as Street Fighter. I think the only character that looks great in Tekken, aside from Kazuya looking perfect, Jin looks great. But I don't know if you saw Paul's design.
I didn't
And
see
Paul,
anything.
his hair is like he looks like somebody who looks like a guy that lives in Osaka that's like eating a bit too much takoyaki. Like his hair's all flopped up. He looks a little chunkier in the face. And I was just like, dude, what are you guys doing? You're like, they're over designed. I think I've heard that phrase used a lot. Tekken feels like over designed, whereas Street Fighter feels like it's just the right amount. Like Luke in Street Fighter 5 had these weird antennae hair strands. It made him look like a cockroach character. Whereas now he's such a cool character. And again, the voice actor has changed. Um, I mean, I'm sure I could grab a clip, but if not, but just keep watching Luke's clip here. In five, he had like weird things to say. It was like, sucks to be you, and I just beat you. Like he was such an arrogant piece of shit. Whereas in this one, he's just like, I don't know, even in loss or even in a win, he's just so pumped and happy. I feel like he embodies the game very well.
Hmm. No, I
Right.
totally agree. I mean, I'm assuming they did that on purpose, right? They're kind of pushing him to be this new sort of leader of the franchise. I was listening to the music actually, it's kind of unrelated, but like they somebody made a comment that who was it? Chun-Li's, Ryu's, Guile's and Ken's themes feel like much more relaxed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now that like the story is over, so to speak, and then like
Yeah,
characters
yeah.
like Luke and Juri, it's like still like you know, it's like they're like kind of not the next, I guess, but yeah, kind of in a way like the
They
next
are.
generation or whatever.
The directors have commented that they want Luke, Kimberly, and Jamie to be the next Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li. So like it's really on point
Mhm.
that they're the new franchise leaders. There's a lot of flack though they're getting. At least on the forums, people that have played Street Fighter 5 are not accepting it. How do you feel about that?
What, the three new people being like
Yeah,
the leads?
yeah.
I I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on this one. I think if you kind of introduce characters organically and kind of just let it happen, then I think that's fine. But to, if they try to like push out Ryu and Chun-Li and Ken, which I don't think they are because they all look amazing, they all play
Right,
amazing, they look better than ever.
right.
So I mean, they're doing a very bad job if that's the case. Because yeah, no, they're
No,
all great, and yeah, it's good to introduce kind of a new story. What are they going to do? Fight M. Bison for the 70th time or whatever?
right. And I mean, all the new characters they've shown so far, the ones that we haven't played with, they look fantastic. There's this like Spartan woman from Italy. She's like massive as hell. But there's something about how they choose to design guys and girls in this game that just it feels on point.
Mhm.
So like she's not like I mean and there's clips I'll try to splice in where she defeats like the main villain. He's called JP. And like her ending screen is she picks up the character as if to like take them somewhere or something. She's like a warrior, but there's this like maternal kindness to her. Same thing. I expected Churi and Chun-Li to get like a very weird makeover. They didn't. I think you commented, and I wholeheartedly agree. Nat also pointed this out too, that Kimberly is like, again, a pop star ninja. She's black, and I'm amazed there's no like stereotypical 70s afro design to her. Like they actually incorporated the characters in a very respectful and cool manner. I just want to say that everything looks cool, and I
Yeah,
can't say
exactly.
that about other games.
Well, yeah, we've complained about this copy paste before, and it's refreshing,
Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
to see variety in diverse characters, right?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I
design them well, design them to be cool,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
So,
not everyone has to be an archetype, and people might think, well, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, just pull up the Google image, black women in video games. Like it's. Of course, there are other examples, but you'll find the pictures where like four of them look the same because the game companies do zero research.
yeah,
They just want pats on the back. They put
yeah,
afros on the characters, and that's it. So to see a
yeah,
character like Kimberly have a uniqueness, a style, and not to be this stereotype, so to
yeah.
speak. It's like, okay, yes, finally we're making real people, real characters. We're not just taking a page out of a book or something.
And I mean, being in Japan, you and I can sort of relate to this. There's there are people like Kimberly that we've run into, not like actual Street Fighters or Pop Star Ninjas, but like people that are so in love with a certain type of hobby that they've devoted themselves to it, and that's the first and only thing that strikes you.
Mhm.
Whereas I think there's this tribalism in old design that people or not old design, new design that people are worrying about. Is like, are they representing people? Just like don't care, man. If like
Mhm.
if I see a black character and they're like totally into the samurai culture, a la Guilty Gear, there's a character like that. I like it. I
Yeah,
completely buy into it. I'm not thinking it was like, well, are they depicting his head? Like, who am I, man? Like, it's a
right.
character. It's a fictitious character,
Yeah,
and they're doing it justice. Who cares?
yeah. It's like what's his name? Leroy in Tekken.
Yeah,
It's the same thing, it's just
yeah,
it's a
dude. I
character.
kind of feel like that's where Tekken's really disappointed me because Leroy, once he came out, I just went, that's it.
Yeah. I
Yeah, let's
mean,
just give him some dreads. Does Leroy have to wear glasses outside? And again, it comes off the back of where they had the cool character that looked like Wesley Snipes. Oh,
yeah.
oh my God, I used to play with
Oh,
him a lot.
I forgot. I know who you're talking about. I
You know what
forgot,
I'm talking
but
about, right?
yeah.
This is so embarrassing because Tekken's the game I want to say is my game.
Mhm.
and I completely forgot. But again, that character was designed well. He was a secret agent.
Mhm.
That was part of his whole thing. Whereas a character like Leroy, I was just like, dude, that's not a well-designed character. Uh,
I like his what is it? His shirt. It's
yeah,
cool. It's got like the the Chinese outfit. Are you thinking of Raven, by the way?
Ravens, that's the one. Raven was so well designed, man. It was so beautiful.
I love the hair.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's just like
And
yeah,
I feel that way with Kimberly. I feel like Kimberly,
mhm.
boom, it's there. And I feel that way with Luke. Luke has this hairstyle. I never got it. Why did they do this like hipster hair?
Yeah.
And then a couple of people commented, like if you look up Luke's videos, and it looks like they're all girls that just are gushing over that hairstyle. And again, these are not dumb people, Capcom. They're like,
Right.
yes, this works, this works. His attitude when he's like his winning pose, like, pointing out the
Yeah.
camera, it's just like so positive.
Mhm.
How do they do this? It just feels so good,
Much better about
right?
the or much better than the original design, like 1,000%. Again,
Yeah.
I mean, like I understand what they're maybe trying to do with Street Fighter 5. I think, stylized and all that. Here, they really hit that mix between stylized realism, I guess, would be the
Oh
best
yeah,
way I
yeah, yeah.
think I could put it. And it just, all the characters look great, and
Looks great.
I'm a big
How did
fan of
it
all the
play?
designs.
How did it play for us? Because I'll be honest, man, I'm gonna throw this out there. The Asian servers were not good. They've
Mm,
gotten better since the last time, but they were terrible before, and they were just kind of bad now. And you and I have good internet connection. We do.
mhm.
Because we had good enough connection that we would play the worst fighting game to play online, and it would be smooth. Smash Brothers, right?
Correct. We be smooth together when we play, and so when
Right?
we played in the Asian servers, and yeah, not every time, but we would have lag every couple of games, and it would just freeze or slow frames or slow-mo or something like that.
Yeah.
So, it did get better some of the days, though. I will say that some of the days I thought, okay, this is pretty good, but then yeah, you would just hit like a snag where like two or three games would lag.
Right, right.
And then at the beginning it was rough, I think, for me when we weren't playing together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was lagging with some people. So,
I was surprised because like you see the drop frames, you see the frame reader up top and the connection. I would have full bars and I would
yeah,
still be getting like one or two drop frames.
right.
And it was kind of bizarre that it was in that shape. But when you quit a match and you're in that lobby, to have like over 75 people running around in the goofiest costumes and and get up, I'm kind of like, all right, this is still doing a good job. Now,
Mhm.
most fighting games have done this. Like Guilty Gear had like a chibi, Guilty Gear Xrd had like a chibi lobby where people are just
Yeah.
running around that. You can go up to arcade machines, but I feel like they really are pushing this social atmosphere so that people don't come to Street Fighter just for the hype and like after they get tired and they just leave. How do you feel?
Oh no, I agree. I think it's good because at least my feeling is okay, the arcade scene, at least in Japan, it's going away. This sort of not it's not like, every arcade scene, by the way. It's like everyone's like best friends forever. It's not like 1990 anymore, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
there is that sense of community, right? And so I think at least I like what Capcom's doing here. Yes, the chibi things in like Dragon Ball and Guilty Gear is pretty cool, but there is just something about that aesthetic of having your player character run around, sit down at a machine,
yeah.
start, when I was watching your character play, it was hilarious because you're just like you're sitting there moving the
Oh, yeah,
stick
they
back
got the
and forth and
animations
like
happening too.
pouting when he wins or like cheer, you feel that more, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As opposed to seeing the little character go like, why or something. So I think it's that kind of one step closer to feeling it's like, VR or something like that, right? Who knows? It could be first person.
Yeah,
for Street
yeah,
Fighter 7, right? Where that lobby, you put on the goggles or whatever,
dude.
you're walking around and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sit down at the machine yourself. So
And it's nice, but there's a dark side to it. And I think for me, it's like I wanted to rank up this time around, and I knew exactly the convoluted menus Capcom had created on how to access not only the control style I wanted, but the character I wanted, and allow for casual or ranked matches. You don't have to participate in the lobby. Especially if you want to do ranked matches, you have to do a special thing. When you found out, how'd you feel?
I hated that whole menu. That was my biggest complaint about the whole thing. I ranted to you 3 days in a row,
Yeah,
four
yeah,
days
yeah.
actually, about how stupid the menu is. Just to pick a character and then, you know, go to the character's moves and stuff, and just it was just so annoying. There's just so
For
many unnecessary steps. You got the cell phone menu,
yeah,
you have the main menu, and then you have like the ranking menu, and that pops up.
yeah.
Why? Why could they not just
There's
have put like
literally
everything in
three
the cell
menus.
phone?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And for those who don't understand, I'll try to put up clip if I have it. So basically, if you press one button, I think it's the start button, it goes into the main menu, and it allows you to quit the game, go anywhere, look at your profile, and look at like the servers and all this stuff. Then you have the cell phone menu in game. I think you press like the D pad or something with the touchpad for me for the PlayStation, and it brings up the cell phone, which is like the social menu. You can change your avatars, emotes, and all this stuff. Like all the fluffy stuff is there. And then there's a third menu that I had to press square on PlayStation 5 to access my character that I'm going to use for ranked and casual matches, which I could change from there. Change my control style, which is very important. Change the level that I like. And it's just like at this point, you're like, why are there three menus? Why?
Yeah. And the worst thing is, and this drove me nuts. I mean, it was kind of annoying where you would there was two ways to change characters, right?
Yes.
Like you would do it like you had to do it before you sat down. Like when you're in the training room, like I thought like, okay, maybe, I'll just switch my character or whatever. It could reload. No, you have to like get up. You have to go to that menu again. And
Yeah.
then you're only changing it for one game. You have to go to the main menu by pressing start.
Yeah.
That's how you change it like full, that's how you set the new character, so to speak, right? Instead of just changing it for like a game or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just like, what the heck? Like, why is this so unnecessarily convoluted? That was easily my biggest complaint. They could have
Yeah.
simplified it, put it all on the cell phone, get rid of like three different sub menus,
Right.
and you can make it so much easier. Like that is just begging to be like all on the phone,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I think.
And I feel like I had like a friend that was playing this game not seriously at all on his PlayStation 5. And they messaged me. And again, he's Japanese, so he's just like, dude, um, I like the game, but the controls are pretty bad. I was like, you can change them, right? And he had no idea. So all weekend long, he was playing with like the modern controls.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, the modern controls, what do you feel? I feel at first I thought they were unfair because like there's an instant fireball button.
Mhm.
You can instantly do some things. However, after ranking up from dirt poor like rookie to still dirt poor iron level, like that's all I had was like iron level 4. I was like, yes. Um, I realized that anytime I saw like a modern player show up, there's no way they could beat me. I think I've played one of the best ones I could. And again, the tactics, I felt like my response time was so much faster with the with the Capcom controls, the classic. How
Mhm.
did you feel?
I don't even think I did modern control. Maybe I did. No, I did. I did maybe once or twice,
Yeah, yeah,
and I just thought, yeah, eh. I mean, I've played the old Street Fighters enough to want to do like a half circle. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
to
yeah,
just suddenly be like, okay, forward, whatever, and it feels weird, and it feels like I don't know, it just kind of goes against my limited programming, so to
yeah.
speak. So once you, I mean, it's not Tekken. at
Yeah.
the end of the day, for better or for worse, right? Like people they can compare them, which we've done already. But like you open those Tekken character lists, those combos are insanity. To do
Yeah.
some of those combos and special moves and stuff. Tekken, it's half circle back, half circle forward. Sometimes you have the Z or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, right? It's just remembering which one goes to each character. So when I play Jury a bunch, I would not do the back second bar sort of half circle back
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because it was like most characters, it was their power up move, right? And then I switched to Guile, and his thing was like the opposite or something. So when I switched back to Jury, I would do that back thing, and I meant to do the forward one, the first bar special, and then I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, okay.
I mean,
So
it's go on, go on.
no, that's where the confusion happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But again, you just kind of keep playing and you get used to it. It's not. I don't want to be. Come on, nobody can. No, it's not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you do a few practice matches with it, you
Yeah.
really do get used to it.
Yeah. And I mean, you made a very good point. Tekken has like, I'm not even joking, like 4 pages of like move lists per character.
Mhm.
And a lot of them, like even the 10 hit combos are ridiculously long to pull off. Granted, if they could be one button pushes, but it's still 10 different combinations you're putting in. Whereas I felt like they've made the move list very concise, very extremely concise. One good thing is some of the things that we can execute, such as the I'm gonna call it focus, but it's not focus. That wickedly painted focus attack that you would do to knock the other guy out. It's always the same button.
Mhm.
Doing a fireball or your DP, your dragon punch is always going to be the same. Then there are characters that are kind of similar but not the same. Like I felt like a lot of Jamie was like a little bit reflective of Chun-Li, a little bit, and then a little bit of that it was in Kimberly. Luke for me feels exactly like a mashup between Ryu and Ken. So it's so easy because I played a lot of Ken, so it's so easy to quickly jump into Luke.
Mhm.
And I think by the end of the game, people hate on Luke online. At least that's what I'm seeing. I really love that character.
Yeah, I had a
I
lot of
mean,
fun with
he's
him too.
right, and he's Kyle's buddy. He's an American at heart. You're like, how could you hate this guy?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's how. No, I had a lot of fun with him. I don't have. I stayed away from the internet for this one, and I'm still refusing to look at what the internet has to say about the game because
Yeah.
I haven't really played that much Street Fighter, so I don't want to get like sort of like, oh, who is this guy? Who's the best character? Tier list and blah blah. I don't care. I'm just like, I just want to play and
And I
sort
think
of just have fun with it.
me and you also had like a sort of realization. I mean, it's my second go on the beta, so I was kind of like constantly harassing you with my perspectives. But like one of the things I don't like in fighting games and fighting game culture is like the top pool of people are amazing to play with. They'll even if they whoop you like within seconds, they'll go through a second mercy round with you, or they'll sometimes pause and see what you can do. Like
Hmm.
they're really interesting people, and I feel like they help foster you learning. The bottom pool is not that bad because again, lack of experience. These people are just learning just like you and me. The mid area, and I'm talking like the ranking from like iron on to like maybe silver or gold, is probably the worst group of people to ever exist. And I feel like they're the type of people, and you and I both had this experience. You beat them, and they would quit. They wouldn't rematch. You lose on. There were so many matches I threw on purpose just because I'm like, oh, this person's good, but I feel like they're being very like distancy pushy. Like they're just guarding themselves too much. So I'd let them have a win. I have a win. I'm like, all right, let's go again. No, quick match. And in my mind, I'm going like, who the F are you playing then? If you can't find a consistent person to play with. Beta test one, I found 2 a.m. Japan time. Two girls, or at least that's what I assumed by their name and like profile. Probably some dude, just like me, sitting there. And these people, and I'll pull up their videos too because I have the deepest respect for these guys. They played like 20, 30 matches with me.
That's
Again,
pretty cool.
again, again. And it wasn't like a hesitation, like sort of like, um, I don't know if I want to play like going up and down and rematch or main menu. Again, rematch, rematch.
Mhm.
And majority of the matches, I wasn't winning. They were winning. And they weren't ranked matches, so they weren't gaining anything. But I
Mhm.
felt like I learned so much. And at the end of the match, they just sent a thank you message to the main chat room,
Yeah.
directed at me, and I was just like, that's respect.
Yeah, the Japanese players always, I mean, to be fair, I can't read Korean or anything, but whenever I played Japanese players, they would always say something like "Thank you for the matches," and they put it in the global chat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I felt bad because our friend Bingster doesn't have like Japanese on his Xbox, so I'm like, oh, thanks.
yeah. Which is a very big stir thing to do. Typical American.
What a guy! It was the only language he speaks is American. What's he doing?
I know. No, and I think that's the difference between I feel like gaming culture is such a it's such a heavy topic, a loaded topic to touch, but especially in the fighting games community, people who are starting out new, don't lose hope. Uh, there's matches where I get frustrated. I know when I was playing Bingster on in Tokyo with Street Fighter 5 in the arcades, I got frustrated as hell. So I was like, dude, my money's going away. Stop like freaking like give me a match to practice. So this that can happen. But like I mean like there's a lot of people that don't really have sportsmanship. They don't have any kind of, to them it's a game and they would find any and every way to succeed and win, and that win doesn't mean anything to them either. So it's kind of like a bizarre situation. I always treat fighting games like actual sport. Same with racing games, unless it's Burnout, which anything goes there. But like a lot of those games have sport backgrounds,
Mm.
so you tend to see the top people sort of play with like a bit of sportsmanship, and that's truly lacking in Smash Brothers. I don't know if you ever played Smash Brothers online randomly.
Not
Horrendous experience.
recently, not recently.
Horrendous.
I'm kind of staying away.
It's like
Mostly
the
because it's the internet, but yeah.
no, but like that's the thing. It's like I feel like people, if they win, they run. And you and I both had this experience. You were talking about somebody who would win and they would like leave the match and they didn't want to fight you again. But I think being in GPX, me, you, and Bangster, like, and Christian have constantly like seen each other, and we've had to like deal with like our wins and losses back and forth. And I think
Sure.
we've gotten better with that. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you joined me in Street Fighter Beta too, because that was that experience. I would have hated like, I could play like 20, 10. We played 10 or 15 matches just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Mhm.
And at first I was like giving you away. I was like, yeah, yeah, do this combo. And by the end, I think by the last day, there was like I'm putting like full effort in with Luke, and you're like doing mad ass combos with Jury.
It's trying to, but
That was still wild. And you made it actually to the second round of the tournament system. I got eliminated round one, and you actually
yeah,
made it to round two.
very lucky. But yeah, I got to round two in one of the tournaments we did. I
That was
couldn't believe it. I
amazing.
was like, did that one I was sweating for that game. I was like, I gotta beat this game. That
with,
was
with everything in the scope.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I know we're all gonna probably get this game. I mean, that's a question I asked last time, and it seems more than likely. Does Street Fighter 6 set itself apart from any other fighting game?
Sure. I think it does just because it is like the sort of the leader of the fighting games, right? I mean, maybe there might be some other fighting games that do the same things, but the whole overall package for me is just so positive. So I think it doesn't need to. We talked about this before about how maybe it's just again my bias, where Tekken seems to be more of the same, just improved in every way, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Usually, and that's what it is, right? It's awesome. Where Street Fighter, maybe I just always felt like they always had to like kind of have like a new gimmick or a new this or that or whatever. Here, nothing seems overly forced, besides the
Yes.
menu system, which is god awful.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than that, again, it's just like everything's on point. The music and everything's on point. Character designs are on point. Characters feel great. I
Yeah.
played all of them. I'm not good with any of them, but in particular, Jury, Luke, Ryu, and Ken,
Ken's great.
and Guile I played, and I guess a bit of Chun-Li. Like yeah, like I said, I played everybody, so they all felt good. Even playing against them, I was annoyed, but there was nothing in the game that made me think like, man, this character's so cheap, and oh, this is so broken. I just thought, oh, okay, like Kimberly's teleportation at first is so hard to deal with because she's just like, you got the smoke so quick, and she just like runs up on you and takes you out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
sick combo, and you know, it could be easy to, man, the teleportation's so broken, you just could warp back, and it's like, no, it feels fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I feel like there's always a counter to almost any move in the game,
mhm.
which is bizarre because there are fighting games out there. I mean, in particular, sometimes even Killer Instinct, and because I recently I just putting so much time into that, and it feels like if you play a certain way, there is an optimal way to play, and if you don't play that way, then you're gonna get screwed.
Mhm.
Whereas in Street Fighter, I feel like you can find your own rhythm, and chances are you'll still be pretty good at it.
Mhm.
And at the same time, you'll find people that'll challenge that and beat you to it, but it never, there isn't a match I walked away from feeling, oh, that was unfair,
Right, same.
right?
Feel the same way. Yeah, I just thought, well, all right, I got to do this next time, or I got to do that, and we record our stuff too, so you can. At least me, I go back and I watch it, and I'm like, oh, why did I do that? Why? Oh
Yeah,
no, that was a bad idea. When I did like
yeah,
my stupid habit of like double jabbing or whatever, and I'm just like, oh no, and just I would get just eat a combo after that. So
oh, when I do focus dash and it would lead to nothing, I'd be like, well, why did I do it if I wasn't gonna do anything with it?
that's how I feel. I'd like do it like, oh, what am I gonna do? Oh,
Right?
I just ate the knee. Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I'm thrilled. It is something special. It is definitely one of those games where a network beta test is so polished.
Mhm.
Like we're not talking like, yes, there's screen tearing happening in the screen, and there's a lot to be said about the network connection in Asia, particularly in Japan. But man, it feels solid. And I mean, that's just one part. There's also the other part, the world tour, the arcade. All of these things coming together gets me so excited for this game.
Sweet.
Any final thoughts? Any interesting takes?
No, nothing crazy other than it's really good. I'm excited to play the final version. I can't wait to see what they're cooking up. Can't wait to see the other characters. I
Yeah,
did see some pictures of like Dalsim and Honda, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
But I didn't see like I think there's leaks out. I didn't see anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm kind of trying to stay away from that just because I want to enjoy it. We've we've talked about this. I hate leaks,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's good. If this is just the beta, I can't imagine what the final's gonna be like.
Yeah, I'm really, really hyped. And again, just the stuff that's been officially released, I'm watching that very closely. And I guess it's the first time. I will say this in my final thoughts. It's about time that we had a game that does crossplay better.
Oh my gosh. We didn't even talk about how good
We,
that
we
was.
did not. So that let's end with that. You were playing on the Series S.
That is correct.
I was playing on PlayStation 5. And I mean, there's comparison videos I could throw up. Just what I'm looking at, like the gamma is a bit different. One thing's brighter, one thing's a little high contrast.
Sure.
Sometimes you have specular lighting on the water and shit. But nearly identical in looks and performance. Still stunning looking,
Mhm.
and it's nice to just have a game do crossplay
Mhm.
and just on the system that you have.
No fluff, no nothing. I mean, yes, you have to kind of get the Capcom ID thing going, but there's no annoying sign up and or at least annoying sign up process, at least that I had to go through.
No, it's very
And
simple, very simple.
very simple. And I was just surprised at how many people play Xbox in Japan.
Yes,
There
that's
was
the other thing
quite a
that bothered
few,
was like, what? So
a
many?
lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, good news. I imagine most of them have Series S's, but yeah, it was great. That crossplay was a lifesaver because if we couldn't do it, we couldn't play together. I
We
don't have a
couldn't.
PS5, so
And I mean, I didn't have a Series S, and like we're playing people on Steam on PC. We're playing Xbox. We're playing PlayStation. I
mhm,
was thrilled. And I mean,
for
the
sure.
final version, supposedly, we're gonna get a PlayStation 4 version and a One X version, and we're gonna add that to the pool of crossplay,
Mhm.
along with like PC and Series X and S and PlayStation 5. And
Nice.
that's how it should be, man.
I agree.
It
It
took a
should.
long time.
I mean, it's on the PC, right? They should really just be treating these PS4 versions, PS5. I mean, the Xbox thing is already kind of doing that, right? I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know if what they're doing is what they're doing, but like now companies, right? They just release it for Xbox.
yeah, yeah,
I still think they should do that with PlayStation. Sony won't do it, but they should just have like a, hey, this is a PlayStation game. But I know they don't want to go that route, whereas Microsoft intends to release a new console every couple of years, a new upgrade. And yeah, they just treat it like a PC, right? Like they just, like you said, they lower the graphics. The One S, or sorry, the Series S clearly does not look as good as a PS5. However, it plays smoothly. They optimized it pretty good in my opinion.
really
It,
good.
it does look really nice. So yeah, no complaints. Keep doing it because it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad thing. I kind of wonder if that's a very Japanese thing, because Nintendo is very much against that kind of stuff too.
Mhm.
And to see like Capcom, a Japanese company, adopt a very Western way to do multiplayer hub worlds, everything about it does not feel Japanese
Mhm.
until you start looking at the quality. The quality is very Japanese of this
Mhm.
game, meaning it's like a very nuanced, highly detailed take on a fighting game. It's done like controls are perfect. The animation systems are amazing. The graphics are top notch. So it is a very Japanese game. But when you sit in that fighting hub, it doesn't feel Japanese. It feels like something Blizzard or some other studio in their heyday decided, like, we need this. The whole crossplay thing, uniting everyone together, that's not very Japanese, but man, they pulled it off.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see kind of companies getting on these trends that they should be, right? Rollback, net play for one, these sort of like virtual lobbies and they're going above and beyond. So it's good to see.
I'm happy because this brings back at least a great fighting game, brings back the I think something you mentioned in on your channel, like the heydays of the arcades. It brings it back, and hopefully it has a backwards effect, like you said, like bounces back into the arcades, and some of that culture comes back because I think unless you've seen it or been part of it, it's really hard to appreciate it.
Mhm.
So like people come visit Japan, they're like, "Oh, the arcades are gone. Oh, whatever." It's like, no, if you were here like 5 years ago, you would realize what's gone. It's really crazy.
Yeah,
And I felt that in the Fight Hub. Granted, people were really strange because they designed their characters really strangely, but that was there.
I mean, hey, it would be like if there was an arcade in Harajuku or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's how I figured. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Well said. And with that, we'll close our thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed our voices. and it was really, really great. Stay tuned to GPX Japan, to Rising Sun Retro, and shows kind of design works for more Street Fighter stuff. Again, your comments are appreciated, and please like and subscribe. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you around.
Take care, everyone. See you
Take care.
later.
Judy, win!